equipment and stuff, and they know what they're doing, and they're, you know, rock stars. They get our power lines up when they come down, because trees come down the lines and they interfere with the lines, and they'll clear trees with us and stuff. So we want to thank them for all they do. And with further ado, we're going to have them demonstrate some arcing from a energized transformer representing a powered line, arcing into various items. So,
hello, my name is Daniel. I'm in the P&M line department. We've got Andrew Mirabal, Joel Smith, Derek Lovato, Nick Ortiz, and Luis Aguilar. This is our normal kind of everyday line crew.
Do you want us to be closer or further? Is this good?
Yeah, if you want to step up closer, you're welcome to. We work on power lines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we run into all sorts of things. Vegetation grows up in the power lines, the overhead lines. They grow, push over underground utilities as well. I'm sure maybe you're familiar with that. If you have any questions for us, you're welcome to ask. Once we get to that point, we'll show you a few things about what we do. We all have flame-resistant clothing on, jeans, shirts, things like that. High voltage rubber gloves that we use every day. You're welcome to try them on.
Why is there a date on that?
It's because they get inspected every 3 months.
Oh, really? Okay.
3 months. These are called class 2s. You'll notice a little tag for each class that denotes a level of voltage that they can handle. You're welcome to check them out. Notice some of the other things the guys have on. Luis has his glove bag. He has 2 pairs of gloves. He's got hard hat, glasses. This could be like an insulator when we bump into conductors that are energized. He also has Dick has a shotgun stick, we call it. It's a dielectrically tested fiberglass plastic stick. You can grab things and hold things, and also that particular one telescopes out to get longer or shorter. So what we have right now, we have a generator powering 120 volts. We have a capacitor and a transformer that steps it up to 2,000 volts. So we got a little arc, we got some hot dogs to burn and some branches to melt, mylar balloons, things like that that you might see on a normal day-to-day basis. This is Andrew Mirabal, he's got a few things to add as well.
Just this system that we're using today is 2,000 volts, like he said, but our system out in Albuquerque is 7,200, 12,470. And then we step it down with our transformers to your house voltage is 120, 240. So this is just for demonstration purposes, but the stuff that we normally work with is 7,200. And then our transmission stuff goes from 46 to 115 all the way to 345,000. If you guys have any questions, these are all various different types of sticks that we use to keep us insulated from the voltage. They're all fiberglass. They're all, just like his gloves, they're dated and inspected also. Our bucket trucks are insulated as well. You can see from the 2 buckets up there down, that's all fiberglass. So what that allows us to do is pretty much we're like a bird on the line up there. With our rubber gloves, we are totally isolated from grounds. Does that mean we're safe? Not necessarily, because we're next to 3 conductors while we're up there, so you still have to go by your work practices and your clearances. But it does protect us from the earth ground, you know, and allows us to actually touch the 7,200 with our rubber gloves.
Who's the inspector? In-house, or is there a
Inspector as far as what, ma'am?
your gloves, and you said the tools are inspected?
They do send them out. The sticks are inspected in-house by our tool room specialist, but our gloves are sent out to a third party.
Okay.
They test them, they clean them, and then they ship them back.
How long do they typically use them for? Like, how long do you use them for?
Our rubber gloves for the 3 months that the date is good for.
OSHA
and then they
allows
send
for
it
6
back?
months.
Oh, okay.
P&M rotates on how this rotates on 3 months.
Okay, thank you.
Everything is dielectric tested. Our buckets are annually, right? According to OSHA, they only have to be done, I think, every 3 years. But P&M likes us to get them tested every year.
Is this like a regular OSHA 60 or something like that, or is it much more?
So P&M has their own separate safety manual, and it's actually more detailed compared to OSHA, which is better. So honestly, I don't even know OSHA that much because we're more detailed than they are.
Thank you.
No problem. you guys work on, I'm assuming all trees, tree services, cutting trees.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for tree service at C-133 and CC-133.
I just had an incident about 3 weeks ago with a homeowner. He was cutting his backyard tree, and he honestly had no clue. I mean, it was in the power lines, and he thought he was doing a good deed, but he cut his top limbs with an extendo saw, and he had a ladder up there, and it landed in the primary, and then it fell and it landed up in our secondary and tripped our transformer, which killed out all his neighbors. But when I got there, his tree was actually leaning against the primary. Luckily, it's winter and it's dry right now. But I told him, I said, "Sir, you realize that's 7,200 right there, right?" And he goes, "No, I had no idea." And I said, "Well, why? I mean, it's power lines. Why are you guys even cutting near it?" He goes, "I just have no idea." I said, "If it was a winter or summer with monsoons, I said you could have easily been killed." And he was thanking me, and he didn't understand. And if you go through PNM, we will. If you schedule it, we can kill out a lot of stuff for personal people, or they'll hire tree trimmers to come out and we kill it out and test it and ground it if it's scheduled.
Kill it out is probably selective.
Yeah.
Very selective. Okay.
A lot of our tree trimmers are trained to cut around our high voltage stuff though as well. So, if you guys have any questions, we could show you guys some stuff. Or
All right, let's see it. I don't need to stand in front of you, though. I'm recording for the online folks. Come on closer so I don't cut you off. All right.
Okay, we'll start with the effects of a wet tree branch or a limb that already has water and it's heavily leaf. So we noticed some of the things that we take. Okay, we got the breaker open, we got it connected there. But springtime, like Anthony was talking about, come across branches that are full of water and full of leaves. Perhaps you get like a little rainstorm. It gets wet out there. Then you see them flopping around and blowing into the power lines. Anybody seen that before? Probably look out in your backyard to see it.
you guys were probably affected back a few months ago when that big heavy wet snow came.
Yeah.
And the leaves were still on the trees. And trees are most of our culprit for outages.
Knowledge departments, get right on it. Be patient. So this is what happens when overhead wires are there and the trees are swaying into it or growing into it.
So you can see it was conducting through the wet branch, right? And you got to consider too, that's 2,000 volts. What's actually up in the air is 7,200.
Woo.
You're that guy you talked about going in your backyard, trim a tree. You might think twice.
Now we have a hot dog.
I don't know why people think they have a backyard, they have poles in their backyard with 7,200, 120, 240, and where do they plant trees?
Yeah.
Along the easement facing. And then they expect, oh, it's your problem. It's not really not our problem. We didn't plant those trees.
Right.
You guys did.
Right.
You're just a regular hot dog, kind of simulating what it can do to flesh.
Are you gonna eat it after? Is that a coach? You can do it after.
Yeah, we can skip the buffet and get this. Wow. He's said this is simulating what it might do to flesh.
That one actually went through.
Who wanted it again?
I'll leave the hot dog.
All right.
It's a real treat, yeah.
Oh,
Eat
What does it taste like?
Dirt.
Dirt.
Now, this is a high voltage glove, just a regular dishwashing glove, right? We'll see if it has any insulating properties.
That's the finger in the hole.
Pretty good, right? You still don't want to use it though, right?
Okay, still don't use a rubber glove, but it's demonstrating that there's some insulating properties.
So you see what a tiny bit of plastic coating will do.
Huh.
Put a hot dog in the glove.
Yeah. Five hot dogs in the glove. Okay, it looks like they're doing another hot dog. And we got a black glove.
So before each use, we'll inspect our rubber gloves for any visible damage. Then we can roll them up tight and make sure air doesn't escape, inflate and expand. That's
This
why
glove
the
has
inside of
holes in
this,
it.
the one I have on is yellow. If you have any cracks or tears stretching apart, you'll see a little bit of yellow in those cracks. That's what helps us. So if we don't inspect our gloves and we have a pinhole in it, it has no protective value for us. It looks like it works.
Even a pinhole
I'll show you kind of what happens.
damage
Here's
to the
class
glove
one.
can be
Actually, it's a class 2, same as these rubber gloves.
You guys probably didn't hear him, but that's simulating if we have a pinhole in our gloves and say we're going face the ground, that's exactly what it's going to do to our dog.
Imagine that fire like that exiting your flesh. That couple seconds, couple moments. So we take our gloves pretty seriously. That's another one.
That one's covered in rubber. I don't know.
You said it tasted like dirt, and now you want another one. I see. I don't know if you can have three. I don't know.
Now we're gonna get, you guys know what this is, right? Birthdays, graduations, weddings.
What does everybody do now? Gender reveals.
Yeah, some Mylar balloon.
End up in our overhead conductors and other overhead devices all the time. Yeah. Sometimes it'll knock out the line. It'll de-energize it by a fuse blowing or a breaker opening. But normally people don't want the power off, right? When you get home,
Yeah.
you want your power off.
Right.
You want it on. So that's why we do live line work. Work in rubber gloves, out of insulated buckets, live line barehanding. People don't want their power turned off just to get down the Mylar balloon. So that's not really an option for us. It can be an option, but rarely is it. that's conductive?
Yeah. Wow.
Real hot.
So, do you want to taste it?
Wrap your hot dog in it.
Ooh, it stinks.
So here's some examples of the insulators we put up nowadays. It's called a suspension insulator, rated for 15,000 volts. This is what we change out. Don't really see one around here. That close. If you ever look at some of the overhead distribution lines, you'll see these at dead ends, the wires dead ended. Yeah.
And that's metal?
This is galvanized steel. This side has a fiberglass rod inside and tight polyethylene skirts. Fillers and more. It's way lighter than
Yeah.
what we used to put on.
Yeah. Absolutely. Aren't you?
Here's a insulator.
Is that ceramic? What does that actually do?
This is called a spool. It will insulate for up to 2,000 volts.
Is this ceramic?
But we don't use it for 2,000 volts. We'll tie in 120 to 40 ounces.
Oh, the wire actually goes on it.
Yes.
Okay.
It mounts on what's called a 1-point rack. Either be long, that comes out.
Yeah, you'll start with a transit just on one end to the other.
I just want to ask: are you going to do it on more things right now, or wait until your next time period? Are we breaking, or
No,
is it?
they're still, they're gonna, there's
Okay.
still a few more
Okay,
things.
good. All right.
Yes.
I'm trying to do one video.
Oh,
So yeah, that's good. Thanks. Okay, bear with us just another minute.
He was gonna do a rope
Okay.
and a string.
I just hope my video shows up. You're gonna be one. Yeah.
4-year apprenticeship. During that apprenticeship, you get at least 2,080 hours on the job training. Then you have your electrical theory class. One night a week, it's like 4 or 5 hours for 9 months. And then once a month you have a 10-hour day. It's called T&D class. First year apprentice, second year apprentice, third year apprentice, fourth year apprentice. You do different things based on what year of apprenticeship you're in. And you learn different things. You do it the old-fashioned way. It's called climbing school. You climb, you do things without line trucks and digger derricks and without bucket trucks. You do pulleys, blocks, ropes, pole pikes, things like that. You learn how to do it the old-fashioned way.
So your apprenticeship is an electrician or what is it?
Lineman.
Lineman. Okay.
Power lineman.
Okay.
Yeah, you got phone linemen, fiber linemen, railroad linemen. You have to do lots of things. I worked at but every system is a different goal.
Oh, yeah.
They did a hot dog, a glove, a hot dog and a glove with holes, and a Mylar balloon. And now they're going to do maybe rope and recording for the online.
I was telling him, do you remember the year they did this inside?
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't believe they did that.
Okay, so this is the people online are going to watch this video. This is Clay. He's one of our board members, and he's telling us about. Was that 2 years ago? I think it was our first year here,
Yeah,
right?
first year
so
here.
they did this demo, but they did it inside, and yeah,
It was
what
pretty
happened?
creepy. We all jumped.
Yeah, and didn't it like blow some fuses in the room, and they had to rewire some
We had to
things?
redo something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty intense. I was very surprised that they did it indoors.
Yeah.
Because there's a
Okay.
big ball of fire, just like when you're out on the power lines.
Yeah. All right.
Like a welder exploded.
Yeah.
No, they're scary. There was a big transmission line that runs behind my house, one of the big ones. And I was out in the backyard doing one day, and I heard it like real loud. It like freaked me out, and I turned around, and the big lines were arcing down there by the river. I don't know what messed up, but something messed up.
Yeah.
So one day I was out, and you know the big power lines. These are big ones with the two
Okay.
the
Yeah.
big ones, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there were blackbirds. You seen those massive swarms of blackbirds?
Yeah.
So there's enough that they sat on the wire all the way from one pole to the next pole to the next pole. Right? Well, you wouldn't think blackbirds would weigh very much, but with that many of them, when they took off, the poles were like
Ooh.
on the big power lines. I was
Wow.
like, God, darn, that's a lot of, you know,
Yeah,
a million
right.
blackbirds at
Yeah.
I don't know,
Right.
4 ounces each, or I don't know
Right.
what they
Right.
weigh, but
Yeah. Right.
it was enough. It made them poles bend.
Wow.
Big old telephone poles were just.
Creepy.
Yeah, it was creepy because the lines were almost bouncing into each other.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and if they bounce, they'll arc if they touch. I've actually seen videos with the blackbirds that we have causing them to arc because they bounce.
The ratio between operates grow to occur, then it's called
Can you give me a time check?
I will.
I can't read my watch.
10:09 or 12:09. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, P&M. We do a bunch of stuff with P&M.
Whatever distribution boats they use to usable hospitals.
What's cool about their buckets is just like that one right there, that Alltech.
Yeah.
That's got a material handler on it. That one there's to hold up the telephone poles and drill the hole and put it in. But this one over here, you could actually lift the pole up with that one if you wanted to. It'll
Wow.
you can lift about 1,000 pounds in pretty much any position with that one.
Sorry, guys. Got a little
That's the
jumpy.
same kind of trucks we got. So we can cut off big limbs, bring them down with the. Well, that's a different one. He's got a button-up shirt.
Yeah. Special.
Okay.
Put in a contact TV. We'll be back in a single
I'm confused about whether we should keep standing or like, because I've been recording for 23 minutes. The last 5 has been.
I would just stop.
Okay, because I only want to do one video for the one. All right, that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching.
You get a close one.